It's a big place, big ocean. There's a lot of unexplored seamounts and other features. You know, they say we know all the planets and moons better than we know the 70% of our Earth's surface, so there's still a lot to do.
This part of the ocean has never been mapped before. Up until our last night of surveying, we were essentially mapping these seamounts for the very first time. Tens of millions of years story that has to be put together, and it's going to take a little bit more time and a lot closer look than I originally anticipated to be able to tell this story.
We're also looking at some incredibly steep scarps, which are landslide areas. The flat top breaks off and goes down very suddenly.
One of the seamounts that we surveyed has these flat level tops, which tells a story of the volcano being at sea level at radically different times during its history. So that alone is a very complex yet interesting story to tell.
The bathymetry shows you the depth. The backscatter shows you kind of the character of the seamount, and so part of the science is figuring out what that particular backscatter signal means. Falkor has some of the best mapping systems, and some of the more recent software has made our life much easier.
I really enjoy interacting with whoever is on the bridge at the time, talking out the plans. Sometimes they have a better plan of action and attack and mapping than we actually do, so it's essentially like having another watchstander to be sitting there next to you trying to devise the best plan to map these seamounts. So it makes our job easier and, like I said, much more enjoyable.
You know, we had a lot of time on the transit to get to know each other and to, you know, get the outreach people involved in the science and train them. So that worked out really well. It helps being able to pass the information on to the public and students and get it out in a different formats so people can appreciate it or be inspired by it different ways.
So for the last 2 weeks, I've been at sea with Falkor and the science team, learning all about the multi-beam mapping process and taking all the things that I've learned from standing watch and listening to the science team and turning those into a comic book, which is going to help communicate Falkor's mission to future audiences beyond the outreach of this cruise. After this, it's just scanning, and then we are ready to go.
I love being a facilitator. I love bringing together the scientists and the students and seeing what's possible.
I like working between the scientists and the students and with the facilitator to basically develop the material that's going to step into the classroom with me down the road.
We're trying out a lesson plan that I've been working on called Mapping the Floor. Mapping the Floor. And it's for younger kids, 5th graders maybe.
Here I am.
Rock Sr. has drawn the ocean floor that he would like to try to have me map, and I can't peek at it. So maybe show them your ocean floor. It has to include some specific ocean features. Now I'm trying to map positions along the way to predict what his ocean floor looks like. So I'm going to ping, and he pings back after it would return from hitting the ocean floor.
Go.
Ping!
Of course, I've enjoyed it. The scientists have been great about showing us all the intricacies of what mapping means, from deploying the XBT on the back deck to editing the data here. I'm excited to bring it back to the classroom, so I've been working on some lesson plans for younger kids that teach them how sonar mapping works.
I never really understood how deep it was until seeing these figures, and it just really puts things in a new perspective. People don't usually get to go travel more than half the Pacific to go do some research out at sea. So
no one has ever seen these features in this detail before. We completed more, covered more area than I expected, more features. You know, we had good weather, all the equipment worked.
And so hopefully this inspires more exploration, and those explorers will then bring back samples, which will then fuel more scientific progress. So that'll be the best possible outcome.